Counting on alum since marrying Maddie Grace, Jason Duggar has been more active on social media. On October 3, 2024, the two of them got married. They have continued to keep their followers updated by sharing their romantic date nights and excursions since then. On the other hand, when Jason began to exhibit signs of having problems with alcohol, many Reddit users were taken by surprise. Continue reading to view the conversation. Counting on Jason Duggar's newest project with Maddie Grace. Jason recently announced his future project with Maddie Grace on social media. The Counting on alum stated that they had recently started their YouTube page and would be posting videos shortly. Jason even put up a Q&A on IG stories to utilize as his first Q&A video on the channel. It is uncertain what kind of content the married pair will share with their viewers. However, they might become vloggers, similar to certain members of the Duggar family, especially considering how much they like traveling together. Fans of Jason Duggar criticize him for immoral behavior. A film on Instagram showed a woman talking about how she opens a bottle of wine for every occasion and anniversary with her spouse. Some fans of Counting on Reddit reacted to this video. However, what drew the attention of many was Jason Duggar's reaction to the clip. Because of the teachings of the IBLP, it is well known that Jim, Bob, and Michelle do not allow alcohol in their family. This caused the op to wonder whether Jason has been using alcohol. Some people believe that Jim Bob was not very rigorous with the Duggar sons, which is why they were permitted to drink alcohol. An activity is only considered sinful if someone else does it, and I decide that it is sinful for them to do it. If I want to participate in it, then would be a different situation. It appears that the boys can do whatever they please. Baptists are generally divided on the question of whether or not drinking is acceptable. To be honest, it makes sense because Josh had a drinking problem a while ago. Counting on Jason Duggar's wedding featured fake wine. After his wedding, Jason Duggar also made the news when pictures were posted online that showed what looked like wine on the tables of the guests. However, some Counting on fans later found that these were Welch's sparkling grape juice. Jason's fondness for wine-related stuff is particularly alarming because it demonstrates that the Duggar family continues to adhere to tight alcohol regulations. The only member of the family who has confessed to having an alcoholic pina colada is Jill. However, she has not been in contact with her parents for many years and has not been a member of the IBLP since she married Derek Dillard. The Duggar family has been a staple in reality TV for years, with their lives documented in shows such as 19 Kids and Counting On. Known for their staunch Christian beliefs, conservative values, and large family dynamic, the Duggars have garnered both immense popularity and a fair share of criticism. But despite the family's long history in the public eye, no one could have predicted the drama that would surround Jason Duggar, the relatively low-key member of the family. In recent years, Jason Duggar, like many members of his family, has been the subject of intense scrutiny. A controversy erupted when fans of the show and the Duggar family began to judge Jason for what they considered sinful activity. Given the Duggar family's long-standing reputation for religious adherence and moral rectitude, this backlash was far-reaching, particularly among fans who followed the family's journey closely. This article will examine the events that led to the judgment of Jason Duggar, why it became such a hot topic, and the impact it had on both Jason's image and his relationship with fans. It will also explore the larger cultural context of the Duggar family's public image, the morality of their religious values, and how the fans' reaction shaped the narrative. Jason Duggar, a family member in the spotlight. Jason Duggar, born in 1990, is the second youngest son of Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar. Growing up in a family that practiced ultra-conservative Christianity, Jason was raised with the family's strict moral guidelines. The Duggars, as shown on their reality TV shows, operate on the principles of modesty, chastity, and obedience to God's commandments. They are devout followers of the Independent Baptist faith, and their lifestyle is heavily influenced by their religious convictions. For much of his early life, Jason was an almost invisible figure in the public eye. He did not carry the weight of major scandals that befell other members of the Duggar family, notably his older brother Josh Duggar. Instead, Jason was viewed by the public as a wholesome, diligent, and quiet member of the family, someone who adhered to his family's religious principles without causing any controversies. While the show Counting On primarily focused on the lives of his older siblings, such as Jinger, Jessa, and Jill, Jason's character was built around his family-centric nature, love for his faith, and community involvement. However, in the world of reality television, it's often the quietest members who eventually find themselves embroiled in scandals. For Jason, this would come in the form of accusations about his conduct, which many fans judged as sinful activity. The Duggar family's image. High standards, high expectations. The Duggar family's public image has been both a blessing and a curse. On the one hand, they have been admired for their unwavering commitment to their faith, for their large, loving family, and for the way they've managed to stay true to their conservative Christian roots. On the other hand, the family's adherence to these strict moral codes has made them targets for criticism and judgment, particularly when members of the family falter or appear to deviate from these norms. The Duggar children were raised to believe that their actions reflected not just on themselves but on the entire family, and by extension the family's religious community. This meant that any hint of sinful behavior, anything that went against the family's religious teachings, could result in widespread backlash. It was clear that the Duggars were held to a higher standard than other public figures because of their proclaimed commitment to piety and virtue. When rumors or accusations of sinful activity surfaced about a member of the Duggar family, it was not just a personal issue. It was seen as an affront to the family's religious principles, causing ripples within the tight-knit Duggar community and beyond. The scrutiny placed on Jason Duggar was no exception to this. The allegations. What was the sinful activity? While the Duggar family's privacy was fiercely protected for years, occasional glimpses into their lives revealed moments of tension, particularly regarding their children's personal choices. For Jason, the accusations of sinful activity stemmed from some rumors that began circulating about his behavior outside the public eye. The exact nature of the sinful activity that Jason Duggar was accused of varies depending on the source. Some fans suggested that Jason had strayed from the Duggar family's strict code of modesty. Others claimed he had been involved in actions contrary to the family's professed moral code, potentially including premarital dating or behavior considered too liberal for someone with his upbringing. These accusations took root after fans noticed Jason's increasingly public presence on social media, where he began to show more of his personality and life choices, which, to some fans, seemed to stray from the image of purity the Duggars had cultivated. For a family that prides itself on abstinence until marriage and who strictly prohibits even dating without the intention of marriage, any deviation from these values would be viewed as controversial, especially in the public eye. This type of scandal was nothing new to the Duggars, as other family members, notably Josh Duggar, had already caused a stir in the media due to his own problematic behavior. Fan reactions. The harsh judgment of Jason Duggar. The backlash against Jason Duggar was swift. Fans who had previously followed the Duggar family with adoration turned on him, publicly denouncing him for his perceived sinful activity. Given the Duggar family's reputation for promoting conservative Christian ideals, fans who had admired the family for their commitment to modesty and religious purity felt betrayed when they saw one of their own seemingly fail to live up to these principles. Social media, which had become a platform for fans to express their opinions about the Duggars, was rife with criticism of Jason. People questioned whether Jason's behavior indicated a deeper rebellion against the values he had been taught growing up. Fans shared their disappointment online, calling out his actions as hypocritical, given the family's public stance on morality. Many felt as though they had been lied to, believing that Jason, like the rest of his family, would remain steadfast in his commitment to the values the Duggars had presented for years. Some fans, however, defended Jason, arguing that everyone makes mistakes and that judging him for his personal choices was unfair. They pointed out that the Duggars were human, just like anyone else, and that the intense scrutiny placed on them often led to unfair comparisons. These defenders argued that the family's strict moral code was not something that should be imposed on every individual, especially as they grew older and began to form their own beliefs and values. But despite the divide in fan opinion, the judgment of Jason Duggar was hard to avoid. The moral expectations placed on the Duggar children, especially in the context of their public lives, meant that even minor transgressions were magnified under the microscope of public opinion. The role of social media in the scandal. Social media played a pivotal role in the judgment of Jason Duggar. Platforms like Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram amplified the controversy, allowing fans to quickly express their disapproval and, at times, their outright condemnation of Jason's actions. In the age of cancel culture, where public figures are often scrutinized for their personal missteps, the Duggar family was not immune to this type of judgment. For Jason, this meant facing a constant stream of public opinion about his behavior. Every post, every appearance in the media, and every social media interaction seemed to spark more debate. The fans who once supported the Duggars now had a platform to voice their frustrations and expectations. The Duggar family had built their public image on religious purity and moral authority, and any deviation from that image, no matter how minor, was met with fierce criticism. The fans' swift judgment also highlighted the growing influence of social media in shaping public perception. While traditional media outlets may have provided a more controlled narrative in the past, social media allowed fans to create their own narratives and hold public figures accountable in their eyes. For Jason Duggar, this meant that his every move was under intense scrutiny. Jason Duggar's response. Despite the backlash, Jason Duggar largely remained quiet on the issue. Unlike other members of his family, who often used public statements or media appearances to address controversies, Jason chose not to engage with the backlash head-on. Some fans appreciated this, seeing it as a sign of maturity and a desire to avoid unnecessary drama. Others, however, saw it as an unwillingness to take responsibility for his actions. It's also worth considering whether Jason felt any pressure from his family to stay silent. The Duggars have long been known for their emphasis on maintaining a positive public image and adhering to their religious principles, which could explain Jason's decision to keep his responses minimal. Given the family's past experiences with scandal, Jason may have opted for a quieter approach in hopes that the controversy would eventually fade away. The fallout, long-term effects for Jason Duggar. For Jason Duggar, the fallout from the scandal has had lasting effects on his public image. While some fans may have forgiven him for the sinful activity, others have continued to view him as a disappointment, particularly those who were looking up to him as a model of Christian virtue. The scrutiny of his actions also served to highlight the difficulties of living under such intense public and religious expectations. The future of Jason Duggar, both in terms of his career and his personal life, remains uncertain. Will he be able to regain the trust of his fans and prove that his actions do not define him? Or has the judgment of his perceived sinful activity permanently affected his place within the Duggar family's public narrative? The case of Jason Duggar serves as a reminder of the complexities of living in the public eye, particularly when one is raised with such strict moral expectations. The judgment he faced from fans for his perceived sinful activity reflects both the weight of those expectations and the growing influence of social media in shaping public perception. Whether or not Jason Duggar will be able to move past this controversy remains to be seen, but one thing is certain: his experience has highlighted the difficult intersection of religion, morality, and fame. The world of the Duggars, and the way their lives are perceived by fans, is a complicated one. As the family continues to navigate public life, it's clear that even the smallest missteps can lead to significant backlash, especially when the stakes are as high as maintaining a perfect public image.